Very good evening to all our viewers. We are again back with our wonderful speaker, Mrs. Jyoti Arora. She is working a lot for creating the garbage, our biodegradable garbage, kitchen waste into composting. And this composting can be used, as we know, we can fertilize our plants using this compost, and which is very safe and nutritious for our plants. So as our vision is that every corner needs a plant, it synchronized with the concept of managing the waste, which is under that my waste, my responsibility. We should not contribute to the dumping grounds. We should find out the ways that how we can reduce our waste. So very first thing is we can start the composting, and I would like to introduce that Ms. Jyoti Arora. She is a partner to Batama Solutions, which are providing the beautiful terracotta. Terracotta is biodegradable. So they are not using any plastic or any other thing. They are using the terracotta, which is biodegradable containers that can be used for the composting. So welcome, Mrs. Jyoti. So we are happy to have you to our show. So I would like to know that how you started. First of all, I would like to know about what Batama Solution is.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jyoti. So I am a partner to Daily Dump. Now, Daily Dump is a company which provides a very functional and beautiful composters to compost all your kitchen waste. So to check you that we do a lot of terracotta, but we also do plastic. What happens is that in areas like we are doing a lot of Himachal, so there are a lot of monkeys there. Okay. So terracotta becomes an issue in a place where there are a lot of monkeys and all. If they throw the composter or something, so we are doing plastic too. Okay. And basically, we provide a very functional and beautiful composting system or a composting solution to anybody who's creating kitchen waste, whether you're doing it at a household level or you're doing at a community level or in hospitals or hotels. We're doing it for bigger ones for them and home composting for others.
Okay, that's wonderful. As I can see in the picture, these containers are in very beautiful shapes and they look very nice.
Yes. So these containers have these containers are made in a certain way. There are a lot of holes. There's a lot of aeration because we do aerobic composting. That means that we use a lot of oxygen. It is not anaerobic. We don't do pit composting. So they are made in certain ways, and the ones which you see which are long, which are like a pillar, these composters are for people who live in flats. Okay. You know, there's a paucity of space. They only have a small balcony, and then they want to use that balcony to compost. So then these are three composters, one on top of other. You fill up the first, and then you fill up the second, and then you shift it. So there's a very interesting method which is made, and we provide with the enzymes or microbes which we call it the remix powder, and you're able to compost all your kitchen waste into that.
Okay, as I can see in the picture, there is in the second picture, is it covered with the, I think, bamboo sticks?
That is something which I do these are the solutions we provide for leaf composting. So a lot of people, especially in Chandigarh, people have gardens, people have a lot of clippings, grass cuttings, glass clippings, and if you do flowers, and you do apuski goli katte ho, so there are dry leaves which shell out. So we put those in the leaf composter and kitchen waste in the terracotta composters.
Okay.
So they are for two different purposes.
Okay. So we can't use the leaves as well as the kitchen waste together.
To be honest, you can, but what happens is that the leaf composting, first of all, leaf takes a lot of space. Okay. So you will need many composters for it to fit in if you want to do, because you can have a couple of buckets of leaf almost every day during the autumn season. A mango tree shed, if you have trees in your house, or so that. And then having said that, the leaf even with all the microbes and all, if you do it in a pit, it takes almost a year for it to become a powder like what is shown in the picture. In our leaf composter, it turns like this in 2 months. But the green waste, the kitchen waste turns into compost every 20 days.
Okay.
So वो अपना cycle आप slow कर दें. To get your cycle fast, you should we don't mix both. And this in this photo you can see there it is your compost is completely soilless medium.
Okay.
So you can
compost is completely soilless.
It's a soilless medium. You can put just the compost, like my units where I'm growing all my vegetables. They have just compost in that. I don't put any mitti.
Okay.
I just put compost and I grow all my vegetables.
So it means that compost doesn't need soil.
No, properly the aerobic if you make your compost aerobic way, you do not need soil. It is a completely soilless medium. You can, of course, it can be a soil additive too. You can use it as khad, or you can just put it in a pot and put any of the seeds, it will grow. Okay.
Usually what we do, we buy the vermicompost from the market, and that vermicompost is mixed with the soil and other ingredients, and then we do the plantation. So that's it's a wonderful idea that we need not to mix the soil. And I think this compost will be lightweight also.
Yes, you can, in the sense that you can, you don't need to do that. All you have to do is that you just put it in your compost. See, what are you doing? Your kitchen waste becomes compost, and then it grows your vegetables again. Okay. So it is a complete recycling of the food you eat. Okay. You understand? And then जो हमारे छिलके होते हैं उसमें जितने गुण होते हैं, all of those come into the nutrients and they come back to your food. So it's an excellent way of doing organic farming, what we call organic farming, because you're not been using the mitti and you're not putting any chemical. You don't need to do anything. It's really rich. So we call it a very rich soil, which is the compost.
Okay, that's wonderful. So now I would like to so Parul is here. So from now onwards, Parul will take the show. So over to you, Parul. Thanks.
Thank you, Ekta ji. Hi, Jyoti ji. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm really happy that we are doing a session together. I think we've been meeting for the first time this way.
Yes.
I am a customer for about 2 or 3 years, I believe.
Are you using the terracotta composters?
Yeah, that khamba I'm using, and Naresh ji and
Diksha. Yeah,
they often visit.
That's a part of my team. They are the one who help me out.
And you know what, it's really wonderful, and it makes me happy, elated basically, that whatever we throw, I reuse it, and again I'm putting in my soil and everything. I don't use the way you told ki you grow your vegetables directly into the compost, but I do add to my mitti.
You can do either way. See, the thing is that because I generate quite a lot of compost.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that I wanted to, because once I came to know it's a soilless medium, I really wanted to try. So I got these units made and I filled it up with compost. It just works so well. I grow a lot of vegetables.
Even you won't believe, my gardener earlier, he was what is this? No one uses it. But then I told him ki nahi bhaiya, use it. And now every time he asks me, Madam Khad hai kya? Madam Khad hai kya?
So it's because it's a change, no?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hearsay and a lot of they have some mixed ideas about these things. So we sometimes do get a lot of resistance from the at least gardeners initial stages. But once they start using, they realize कि बहुत easy है and बहुत अच्छा खाता है. देखा फर्क पड़ जाता है.
Definitely. I have personally seen this. Last year, actually, I took saplings from the farmers market, and I used this, and the growth was very good. The saplings were good, the manure was good, organic, everything went very well. That was my first trial, and I must say ki, as an amateur farmer, I really did a good job.
So I want to tell you that we all are amateur farmers in that sense. And you know, I have experimented where I have put just compost in, and I put 2 pots. In one just compost and one just soil and the normal खाद which you get, the गोबर की जो खाद होती है. And I've grown palak. जब मैंने पालक के पत्ते उगाए हैं, so the leaves which come out of the compost are bigger, are richer looking, and they've got dross in it and darker green.
Yeah, definitely.
So there is a difference. It is just not. There's a visible difference in the quality of your food.
Definitely, and these are hidden treasures which we cannot make it realized to people in one way, but they can be seen in multiple ways. Actually, it becomes part of our lifestyle.
Yes, exactly.
And we don't have that acidity problems, then no knee problems. I mean, if you are doing some soil work, you are connected to the nature. That way you feel good. That feel good factor is always there. So it has multiple reaching effects which we don't realize at once, but they are there.
See, first of all, the best thing about is that to take away home a point is that you're not throwing your waste. Do you understand that? So there is nothing more important. Like I have people who come to me and say we want to compost, but we don't have space. We don't even keep a pot. What do we do converting that? I tell them, I say, gift it to your neighbor. Just throw it on any green area you find a tree, feed the tree. But the first catch is that you will not throw your waste, because your waste in a landfill is making methane. Definitely. So that itself is a very big victory if you start composting. Of course, the byproduct, of course, is good, but the fact that you don't throw your waste, it's a very big deal.
Exactly, and that consciousness we have to build in, and that is the very purpose of this series, that together we can build a community and we can make a change.
Yes. So it makes a difference, and you save in the fuel cost. Yeah. Your waste is being hauled from one place to another. वो करने की जरूरत नहीं है ना? Recycling घर पे हो रही है. You are segregating.
And there are far-reaching effects, as I said earlier also. I mean, like you are using, and you don't have to wait for the garbage picker to clean the mess. I mean,
exactly.
There is no wet waste, then it's all dry waste in the dustbin. And if the garbage picker doesn't come for 2-3 days, it doesn't matter at all.
Exactly. It does not matter. You can have your garbage picked up every once a week also if you start. See, the moment you start segregating and composting, your dry waste is source of livelihood for thousands of people just in Chandigarh. जितने रद्दी वाले, कबाड़ी वाले जो होते, वो आपके वेस्ट के ऊपर उनकी लाइवलीहुड होती है. अगर आप वेट नहीं करेंगे, गीला नहीं करेंगे, उसको मिक्स नहीं करेंगे, and you throw it properly, so then you actually, just by composting at home or segregating, you're giving dignity to those people who are your waste collectors, in the sense that waste collector and to the kabadi wala and raddi walas.
Exactly, and that is how my journey also started. When there was this lockdown of this garbage pickers, then only I decided. I saw your stall at a farmer's market, organic farmer's market near the lake, and that was there in my mind. But then I never started with this at once. And then this thing happened in Chandigarh. Then I thought, it's high time. We actually faced a lot at that time, because we were not segregating. We were disposing our kitchen waste. That time I thought, it's high time. This should not happen again. I mean, garbage pickers are not mandatory. They'll come every day. So exactly. That time I started with this, and I'm really happy. Of course, there are certain issues with this. I mean, it takes a good amount of effort also sometimes. But then we can... If it becomes part of our system, it flows very naturally.
So we have done a video today itself, and Daily Dump has posted that video, that we timed how long does it take to put in your waste. It actually takes about 25 to 30 seconds. All you have to do is pick up the lid, put in your waste, put in remix, cover it, and leave it. So that is not time consuming. But see, the compost is a very, the organic material is full of life.
Yeah.
It's got multiple organisms, some microscopic, some little bigger, which are coming and eating your waste. So it's like a big thriving jungle out there,
Definitely.
So those kind of things. So there can be small issues, but on the whole, if you're just following the rules, and sometimes season. So we get a lot of complaints during a lot of rainy season because बहुत humidity
होती
है ना, ह्यूमिडिटी में स्लो हो जाता है, पानी इकट्ठा हो जाता है, कभी कभी स्मेल आ जाती है, कोई लोग कहते हैं कि हम दे नॉट एडिंग इनफ प्रीमिक्स एंड ऑल, बट विंटर्स में कभी हो सकता है स्लो हो जाए, समर्स में बहुत अच्छा चलता है, ऑटम स्प्रिंग में बहुत अच्छा चलता है. So there are issues, so we over the period of time we know what are the solutions, how to fight it. The staff is trained.
That's what I said. Now, once it becomes part of our lifestyle, our system, then it flows naturally, and we learn how to go about it.
So at your house, do you do it yourself, or you have your staff who does it?
Me, myself also, my maid also.
She also, exactly. That's what I do also. No, in my place, I do it. All my staff, they all know how to do it. Even my Mali knows. अगर माली को वेस्ट पकड़ा दो, उसको पता है कैसे लेयर करना है.
My Mali, तो he just knows how to use it. But my maid, I actually asked her कि I'll pay you extra for this, and you do all that sieving and all. She does it. Sometimes Naresh ji comes and he does all the work. And otherwise, my maid is doing. She's putting.
She would be, yeah. So thing is that, see, I'm their concept. Like, I have a live-in staff at home. So I have given them a separate dustbin where I tell them that you have to put your kitchen waste into the composter. You cannot have, you cannot throw the, because I do this work. I said it'll be like a shame if, we are throwing mixed waste or we are giving our kitchen waste.
Definitely.
So she also puts her waste into the composters. So they might not ever use that compost. But for them, they know that they're not allowed to throw that waste. And it gives me good compost, which I throw it on my rooftop garden. I put it there.
Definitely. So moving further, Jyoti ji, how did you come to this whole process? I mean, what made you land here?
So this was my, I was very, in the sense that I used to, one of my staff used to put in the, give the kuda wala, the everyday's garbage had gone to the ground, had gone to a village. So I had no option but to give my waste to the kuda wala who comes, and the garbage collector. So I invariably every day I would forget because मेरे को आदत नहीं थी, वो bell बजाता था, then I would say sorry and I would go out, run and give him the waste. So that time I noticed how he was in the waste and how with his bare hand, there was no gloves, nothing, and how he would, because initially it was always a big black bag which had all mixed kind of waste, and he would just rip open that bag, put it in one corner, kitchen waste को हाथ से ऐसे कर लेता था, sanitary pads, diapers को एक जगह फेंक देता था. So I saw how he was bulb and batteries, and they were all mixed. So this is about four years ago, and I told him once, a couple of times, मैं आपको gloves दूंगी, आप gloves ले लो. So he said, मैम दे दो तो 4 दिन में फट जाएंगे and all, हमें आदत है, that kind of. Then also there's a lot of stench in his cart. So that really moved me, and I told him, I said, भैया आपको बदबू नहीं आती? कहता मैम क्या कर सकते हैं, ये रोजी रोटी अब, we can't do anything about it. So in that few days when I was doing it every day, one day I noticed that his hand was bleeding. So I asked him क्या हुआ, वो कहता है मैम वो 2 कोठी छोड़ के उन्होंने बल्ब फेंका. So he must have opened the packet and maybe the bulb was broken or it got broken while he was doing all that, and it gave him a big cut. So I was like, I said, oh, I was really like, I said, मैं आपको बैंडेड देती हूँ और आप मतलब डेटॉल से साफ कर लो, और आप कहता मैम हम हर 4 महीने या 6 महीने में टेटनस शॉट लगाते. So I was like, and then with that bleeding hand, he opened my packet and he started putting the waste here, and I said कि भैया infection हो जाएगी मत करो ना. So he says कि मैम ये तो रोज का काम है, रोज हाथ कटता है, कभी उंगली कट जाती है, क्योंकि what do you do when you have a broken glass? You just throw it into the dustbin, right? So what does he do? He opens the dustbin and opens your packet and starts sorting it like that. So that is how, and that really, and I thought that, I said, this is wrong. There's something wrong about it. And then when I started researching, and I realized that it's not only bad for him, it is very bad for us. It is very bad for my son, because a lot of little children are getting asthma, they're getting skin problems, they're getting cancer in the young age. It's a lot got to do with the kind of waste we throw. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, it's a developing country.
Yeah.
Our municipal corporations, our government is not adept in really taking care of our waste completely. So that is why even if you drive from Chandigarh, go towards Panchkula, go towards Kharar, you will see small landfills coming up where people just start chucking their waste because they have no option, right? Yeah. Then I researched that what do you do, and I realized that my 60-70% is only kitchen waste every day. So then I wanted to find a solution, and what I did was that I made a pit in that. The moment I made pit and I started putting in the kitchen waste and I put chicken bones, everything, I had rodents. So that was really, I had rodents, and it was chipkali or asapki, so it was very scary. So then then I realized that I had to do something which was more functional, more easy, you know.
Yeah.
So then I found this product.
Okay.
So that time I gave a call to Delhi Dump.
Okay.
And I told them, I said, I really want to do that. So they said, are you using our composter? I said, no. He says, use it for a year. Then you come back to us. So then I got hands-on training. Then I went there and got myself trained. That's how I started.
Great. And then there is no looking back.
No, I have never advertised. I have done like maybe sometimes I've gone to the organic market 4 or 5 times. It's only word of mouth.
Yeah, actually it is word of mouth.
You will tell a few months, you hear somebody will say, you know, I'm using this product, it works very well and there's good service. So that's how it's always been so far.
You know, people are actually having change in their mindset also. So yes. Many people are making a shift to this conscious living. So I think
it's awareness now. No?
Yeah, it's more of awareness rather than publicity.
Yeah, it's more awareness. People ask, I question my son when he goes out to shopping. See, I used to go shopping and to pick up my ration. Now, when I come back, I would notice that I would cut the packets, I would empty them in there. And I had a big box full of packets, which were no use to me. I tried to give it to the Radiwala. He says, ma'am, I think 40 paise or something 2 kg का मिलता है. तो ये मैं कहाँ तक संभालूंगा, मेरे पास तो घर भी नहीं है कि मैं आप यहाँ इकट्ठा करो. जब ये 5-10 kg हुए मुझे दो. 5-10 kg means you have to wait for a year before you get, you know, it was all those things were not feasible. मैंने रखा, but then my maid one day said कि मैम ये तो कचरा पड़ा था, मैं तो फेंक दिया, you know. So the stuff like that. Then I realized, then I figured out there was a cooperation with the corporation. I went to them, I became the member. I placed my order. They give me in these boxes a pattern आता है, उसके अंदर सारे पेपर ये क्लॉथ बैग्स के अंदर मेरा सारी दालें और राशन सब कुछ होता है, मसाले और सब कुछ. I just empty it out, उसको झाड़ती हूँ, साफ धुलवा के उनको, या कभी झाड़ के ही उनको मैं वापस कर देती हूँ. So when जब मेरा राशन जाता है, I'm completely zero waste. So it gives me a lot of happiness, you know, that I'm not generating every day, every monthly 10-15-20 packets मैं नहीं generate करती.
What I generally do, it's been around 10-12 years. I cut the packet, I keep it with me, or my maids, they put their paratha and all, whatever food they take from my home, so they take in those packets. Or if at all we have to dispose of something, so we don't use that black bags or something. These packets are used for that.
You can recycle it like.
Yeah.
See, we Indians always recycle. Now in my kitchen, you will have जितने जो jams की bottle होती हैं, उनके में हम सामान अपने मसाले नहीं भर लेते.
Exactly.
We have done this for ages. My mother-in-law and my mother तो बहुत ज़्यादा करते थे. हम तो तभी we are more, you know, into the buying stuff.
There was a time when this thing shifted. मतलब जब शायद हम बच्चे थे, उससे जब हम टीनेजर्स हुए, जब हम लोगों ने शादी करी के अपनी किचन सेट करी, तब वो एक चार्म था कि नहीं कुछ पुराना नहीं रखना, सब नया होना चाहिए. But as the time changed and this generation especially, I mean things have resorted back to that time जहाँ हमारी दादी नानी होती थी. I still remember वो मिठाई के डब्बों में हमारे यहाँ जो भी कोई ट्रिप पे जा रहा है उसके लिए खाना पैक होता था.
Exactly. We used to do that.
Now we keep that disposable boxes with us. है ना, तो things have come back to the original place. That's called a life cycle, I believe.
Life is a cycle. So I want to tell you, this is so interesting that my once I was cleaning my kitchen mirror, I realized that I had these big box full of sachets, which is ketchup sachet or oregano. कि pizza आता है क्या होता है वो bunch हाथ से मुट्ठी भर के तुम्हें oregano और वो 5-6 भेज देते हैं. Now I have proper dispensers for oregano from table bowl आते हैं, and I eat hot and sweet the sauce. मैं ये ketchup खाती नहीं, तो हम यूज ही नहीं करते. So then I consciously call up and I order for a pizza. I tell them napkins मत भेजना, हमारे घर बहुत सारे napkins हैं. Sauce मत भेजना, ये मत भेजना. So and then whenever they were in few years ago when there were floods in Bangalore and all. So when they would clean up the drain, it was filled with small sachets. The 1 rupee packaging, they're so light. They will go into the drain. They will get into your. तुम्हें पता भी नहीं चलेगा. They will, आराम से drain में चले जाएंगे. They'll block your drain. So these kind of things
invented just for the sake of convenience, but वो convenience कहीं ना कहीं it's taking a toll on our system, and we are only responsible to reduce that impact.
Yeah. So the only way to do is when you shop little mindfully.
Yeah,
mindfully. Just say, now initially when we used to go, if we had to travel, we didn't want to pick up the whole bottle of shampoo. So now कोई छोटी bottle होती है उसमें मैं अपना भर के tight उसको pack करके अपना ले जाती हूँ. I buy take sachet. Now that you don't want to pick up a sachet because that sachet is made of plastic and metallized plastic.
Metallized.
So those metallized plastic, we in India do not have so much facility to recycle it.
Properly
recycling. Even if it is, how much will it reach? So right now, even on the Facebooks and all these, there's a lot of things about the milk sachets. So I one day decided that I will not get my milk in packets. And I have this dude who gives me in glass bottles. I called him up and I said, मैं तब लूँगी, मुझे दिखाओगे report कि actually तुम कुछ दवाई नहीं डालते और मैं glass bottle होगी तो. So I am very happy that because वो कहते हैं जब आप काटते हो that small paper जो triangle रह जाता है, so that for sure will reach the water bodies. They're so light, you understand? So it will go the drain में ही चला जाएगा. It will be in the tummy of one of the fish later on.
Definitely. So now that you were trained and you started doing this, so you must be having some challenges also, so that this thing people become aware of it. And how did you manage all that? Now so I think you have a good name in Chandigarh. You've already covered so many places here in Chandigarh and adjoining places also adjoining. So how did you manage all this?
So I want to tell you that the challenge was that we were talking about waste. So nobody really wanted to talk about waste. कूड़े के बारे कौन बात करता है? You understand? I'll tell you क्यों नहीं बात करते. क्योंकि कूड़ा आपके घर से चला जाता है. उसके बाद आपको पता ही नहीं उसका क्या हो रहा था. You realize that? So if you ever do a trash trail, if you follow your waste, you'll be surprised and appalled कि क्या उसके साथ हश्र होता है. कि कहाँ पहुंचता है, एक्चुअली क्या होता है, कैसे लोग उसको सॉर्टिंग कर रहे हैं, कैसे वो गाड़ी में भर के जा रहे हैं. So it was like when I got my first truckload of composters, I had to call up my friends कि तुम्हें तो खरीदना है, मतलब I'll just gift it to you, तुम use तो करो ना, somebody has to use it too. So that, and then a lot of myths. So I remember that I was composting for this whole army cantonment. We were installing composters. So one of the Jawans was told them, one of the ladies told her the Jawan that you have to put in that. He says, "Ma'am, इससे तो बीमार हो, कूड़े को छुएंगे तो बीमार हो जाते हैं, उसमें तो बीमारी होती है कूड़े." So there were a lot of these myths which had to be, that shell which had to be broken up. And then also the fact is that my composters come from Palamnar from Andhra Pradesh. So they're not locally made. It's not that you can pick up 4 ghadas and you start putting in that. It will not work. I'll tell you why. Because a composter has to 24/7 fight salt, foil, fight acidic. अगर आपने नींबू डाला तो acidic हो जाएगा. कोई खाना पका खा दिया उसमें salt हो जाएगा. And again, there's a reaction going on. वो तो आपका जो आपका मटका है वो 2-1.5 महीने में भुर जाएगा. Because it cannot take that chemical reaction. There's heat.
Gases produce हो जाएंगी ना उसके अंदर.
Gases it gets so you need something really sturdy. So when people would say कि ये तो terracotta है, इतना महंगा क्यों है? because वो मेरे को at this point उस time में 60,000 देती, अब मेरे को I have to almost give 95,000 to a truck to get it here because the diesel rates अब इतने बढ़ गए. So why is it expensive? Then who will take care of? So a lot of things, and mostly people would say that कूड़ा तो चला जाता है ना, मतलब कहीं तो ठीक, मतलब निकल जाता है घर से, तो हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So that
difficult to change the mindset actually.
But I want to tell you a few things which help. First of all, awareness, a lot of us awareness about sustainability on the net, you know, this kind of thing. Organic market, kitna chala hai? You know, people endorse that. People, a lot of time, I will not eat a vegetable if it's not available as organic. हम seasonal खाने लग गए. No, but हमारे parents, हमारे grandparents करते थे. Because if it is not of the season, हमें 24/7 हमें एक fruit नहीं मिल सकता हर पूरे साल. So that, and then that kind of fight did make a difference. And then just awareness, and then Swachh Bharat. जो ये स्वच्छ भारत अभियान हुआ, उससे मतलब क्लीनलीनेस करना है को चाहे जबरदस्ती, पर लोगों ने कुछ किया.
हाँ, कुछ किया.
You understand? So I was just lucky to have started when the Swachh Bharat came.
That's very nice.
Because it kind of, people were aware, the municipal corporation was ready to listen to me. The government was telling everyone to take care of their waste. All those factors helped us, because, and it was it's a usable and effective method of taking care of your waste. So there is no going back on that. No, it's not that we are not giving you a story. We are actually giving you a solid product which does work. So that
actually, it's the mindset of the people who actually makes it a success. So if people are open to it and ready to implement, then I think they are the most happiest people on earth.
Yeah. See, like I told you, that it gives me a lot of satisfaction that I know that I'm not going nuts. So I might be just 1 kg, but 1 kg or 2 kgs a day, but then that means I'm 60 kgs, and 60 into 12. So if you keep multipliers of that, it's almost 720 kg. You know, you understand? That's a lot of waste.
You know what? I'll share my experience. I do this composting. It's kept in the balcony. And I live in a rented place because we are on a transferable job. Okay. So my landlords, actually it was a rainy season, so that in the balcony, it's a small area, so that caught the moisture. तो छोटे छोटे कीड़े भी हो गए. अब वो छोटे छोटे कीड़े, मुझे पता ही नहीं था अंदर क्या चल रहा है. तो वन ऑफ माय गार्डनर, ही टुक एवरीथिंग, और उससे गलती से वो नीचे वाला खुला रह गया. तो सारे कीड़े हमारे घर में भी आ गए, वो नीचे ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे भी चले गए. एंड माय लैंडलेडी, शी वाज आफ्टर माय लाइफ कि आपने क्या गंद मचा रखा है. आफ्टर ऑल, खा दिस गंद. This is what she told me. And she, you know what, she is wife of a farmer.
Acha.
And they are living in Chandigarh, and as of now they are in Canada. But basically they are farmers only. They are having good properties in farming. But this is what she told me, कि ये गंद आप घर से बाहर निकालो, आपने ये हमारे घर में कीड़े करके. And I felt so guilty and bad also. I literally took it to the road, and there I spread it on the road कि वो सूख जाएगा तो उसमें से कीड़े चिड़ियाँ खुद ही खा जाएगी. Diksha helped me out with everything. But actually it was very much demotivating. लोगों को सब खाने को चाहिए, लेकिन उनको उसमें अगर कुछ ट्रबल शूट हो गया, कोई प्रॉब्लम आ गया है, वो सपोर्ट करने को नहीं चाहिए. रिसेंटली 2-3 months बैक ऑल्सो वही रेनी सीजन आया, तो कुछ कीड़े आ गए, तो फिर वो थोड़ा थोड़ा इधर उधर क्रॉल करने लगे कीड़े. तो शी टेक्स्टेड मी फ्रॉम कैनेडा, please remove, it's not our responsibility. अब I am living on first floor, I don't have any area कि जहाँ मैं इसे खोल के सुखा सकूं. तो my maid, what she does, हम गेट के बाहर ही सुखाते हैं रोड पे, बट वो ऊपर बांध के ऊपर लाने की वजह, क्योंकि बारिश आ गई तो वो पूरा ही खराब हो जाएगा. तो ऊपर लाने की जगह उसने नीचे ही पैक करके रख दिया.
अच्छा, ओके. सो उधर निकल आया.
सुबह को खोल के सुखा दूंगी, धूप आएगी तो. बस वो उसने रख दिया है. तो शी टेक्स्टेड कि दिस इज नॉट आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, आपने नीचे क्यों रखा है, वी डोंट अलाउ ऑल दिस, ये वो. आई रियली फेल्ट बैड. अदरवाइज आई एम टेकिंग केयर ऑफ देयर होम फॉर द पास्ट 1 year. इमेजिन. ठीक है. they have given the keys to me, the maid comes, I am getting all the trouble, but this was not their responsibility when it was actually no trouble to them. This is
See,
mindset of people.
So there can be issues with the see, the thing is that in the end of the day, she probably does not feel at all the requirement or doesn't understand the sustainability there's no sustainability consciousness and all that stuff. So I have met people like that who can be completely deterrent to the whole thing.
But I thought, yeah, okay, I don't want to make her anything understand. It's better not to give any hamper to my peace of mind. I withdrew my compost from there. मैंने अपनी मेट को यही बोला, मैंने कहा बेटा तू ऊपर ले आ, हम नीचे दोबारा ले जाएंगे. It's better.
It's better.
So coming apart. Jyoti ji, what is the process like? How do you do it?
So the process is that you have to use your kitchen waste every day, whatever kitchen waste comes out. You put it in the composter and you layer it with something which we call the remix powder. Now the remix powder is very rich in carbon. Your kitchen waste is very rich in nitrogen. So when you have nitrogen and you have carbon and there's moisture and there's oxygen, it will make compost. It's so simple. Okay. So the powder, the remix powder will soak the excess liquid, will make air pockets, will ensure that it has air pockets. That's why we tell people not to make slurries.
Okay.
कि ऐसे नहीं मिक्सी में डाल के करके फिर ऐसे करना, वो मत करना, उससे जुड़ जाता है. तो जैसा है, बट ऑफकोर्स अगर पूरी फुल गोभी है तो आई टेल देम कि थोड़ा सा छोटा काट दो उसको, वो जल्दी होएगा. अगर आप पूरी गोभी डालोगे तो that will take longer for it to break in. So all you have to do is that you put in your kitchen waste, you layer it with the remix powder and you close it. And after it has been shut, you give it 20 days and then you remove your compost or the semi-compost. And then you can put it in a sack and let it be there for another 15-20 days for it to fully mature before you.
So the process is like the nitrogen is there, the oxygen is there, and we are water is there, and we are supplying some carbon. So that what is the reaction called?
It's an anaerobic reaction. So the anaerobic reaction creates that. So anaerobic means a lot of oxygen is going into the whole process. So your kitchen waste is very high in nitrogen. The remix is very high in carbon. So when they both get together, and the remix also has microbes. So those microbes start eating those are in a form of powder, and they start eating into your compost and your kitchen waste and converts it into a compost. So and the moisture is never required. I have not really ever added a lot of water or anything like that, or then sprinkled water, because the kitchen waste, all your kitchen waste is anyway 70% water. अगर आप किचन के कूड़े को एक बाल्टी में डाल के उसको कोने में छोड़ देंगे, आप 10 दिन बाद उठाएंगे तो ऊपर इतना पानी भरा हुआ है, इतना वेस्ट हो जाएगा, वो पानी छोड़ेगा. So it always has water. You usually don't require to have that.
Okay, so it's important to use remix powder with the kitchen waste.
Yes, you cannot compost unless, or you can make like we in our we teach people how to make their own remix powder. You can even have that. You can have your remix powder ready where you can put in some of our microbes. You can use partially your compost and pick up some cocoa peat powder from the nursery and make a mix and use.
And we can add microbes to it, and then we can use it.
Yes, you can do it.
So what do you do with the like after this is dried up? After we harvest our compost and we dry it up and we sieve it, so whatever is left, the leaves and all, so what do you do with that? You again put it into
you can either put it in the base of your composter where it can stay there for longer time, or in my case what I do is I have a leaf composter.
Okay.
So what I do is I just layer it in my leaf composter. It enhances my leaf composter.
Otherwise it can be used for mulching.
Of course, it can be used as much. Yes, you can use it very much. Use it as much.
So the idea is that we should not put much of water into it. Any liquid sabzis and all, gravies and all, we should not.
If you're adding, like if you have to add dal, either you drain the water and then add it, or you put a remix and make it into you add the remix. You have to increase the quantity of remix.
Okay.
so that you know that liquid, the liquid
excess
thing.
water is dried up.
Yes, excess. So in our case, like for example, if you have to throw in the soup, you have to throw the soup and it's got a lot of vegetables. So what I told my staff in my places, क्योंकि फिर मैं उनको समझाऊंगी कितना remix डालना है, कभी वो excess ना डाल दें, उसको कम ना डाल दें. So I just put it in a chunni, drain the soup का जो liquid है अगर खराब हो गया, and जो सब्जी है उसको.
हाँ, exactly.
So it's just keep it simple, because you know how much quantity, कितना डालना चाहिए, ये करना चाहिए. So I'm not to confuse them or make them feel that there's too much effort going into that.
Definitely, actually, it's basically making it more convenient and functional.
Yes, exactly.
So we can add anything, but in a dried form. Better in a dried form, है ना?
Dry means the way it is. जैसे आपने सब्जियां छीली, तो वो सब्जी छीले का जो भी उतना wetness तो normal होएगी ना, वो चलेगा. मगर ऐसे अगर आपने दाल की कटोरी फेंकनी हो, something you know which is very very watery, अगर normal दाल फेंक रहे हैं जिसमें घुली हुई है, उसमें इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. But if yes, if you can see a lot of curry, then you throw it.
And the needed atta.
To be honest, मुझे लगता है कि आटा को भी कंपोस्टर में डालना चाहिए. आटा की छोटी-छोटी गोली डालो, बनाओ और उसको फेंक दो, चिड़िया
खा जाएगी.
है ना? Why waste it into? Because what happens is that when the starch or the gluten, when it breaks, it does take a little longer than the green vegetables. Having said that, when we are doing it for hotels and all, they do throw their atta. But I always tell them कि थोड़ी सी मेहनत करो, उसकी गोलियां, कुछ गोलियां बनाओ, उसको फेंक दो ना, so that the ants खा लेती हैं, you know, that kind of thing. चिड़िया खा जाएगी, तो आप उसको उनको दो.
We do it. We actually do it. From previous 1 year, I've been telling my kids कि बेटा तुम्हारा जो बच जाता है ना, उसको बाहर छत पे डाल दो. And I've been seeing birds every morning coming, और उनकी आवाज भी अच्छी लगती है. I mean, it's good. Just coming.
So when you dry your compost also, that happened when in my house, because in my front lawn, that's where we dry all my compost. मैं बिछा लेती हूँ tarpaulin sheet. So I have sometimes variety of birds which come to eat the maggots or anything out of it. It's so interesting, you know, because we do a lot of photography around it. I tell my husband, so if he gets a time, he likes to sit there and watch which bird is coming, to take some pictures and all. So it's like your waste is a part of the whole ecosystem. You know, so that ecosystem, so those maggots are being eaten by the birds, or the compost is used by you, and then the plants are eating that part of that thing. So it's a complete cycle. For everything is being recycled.
Yeah, definitely.
So the maggots, by the way, are sold in Amazon for almost 700 rupees per 100 maggots. You bottle them because they are almost 45% protein and very high in calcium. So जो fisheries होती है ना, जो fish उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा होता है to feed. So people, what they do is they collect the maggots. People who are very enterprising and they have a number of composters and all, they bottle it and they sell it.
अच्छा.
You can sell it there. It's sold per piece, like 7 rupees. I was talking to someone. He says अगर wholesale rate देंगे तो हमको 3 रुपए या 4 रुपए per maggot दे देंगे. But बेचोगे तो हम 7 rupees का बेचते हैं, फिर उन्होंने भी तो 4 रुपए profit. So they are it is that rich, and you know, it's a whole ecosystem which is taken care of.
That's very nice. So you have different composter for food and different composter for leaf.
Yes, we do them separately.
What are the other varieties?
You can sorry.
What are the other variety of composters?
We just this. We do many varieties in the kitchen waste, depending if you have 1 kg waste, if you have 2 kg waste, 3 kg waste. Or if you are living in flats, you have a garden, so we have something separate. Like I have composters which are fixed in the garden, fixed in the mitti. So उसमें क्या होता है, नीचे earthworms आ जाते हैं, तो that's a vermicompost being made, and ऊपर you are making your normal aerobic compost. And the green waste which we put, because if you have a small patch of garden like I have, you are generating a lot. I have 3 trees in my house. तो उनका ही जो जब वो उसके झाड़ू लगता है तो इतनी सारे पत्ते होते हैं, तो वो सारे अगर मैं उनको कंपोस्टर्स में डालूंगी, तो एक तो मेरी कंपोस्टिंग थोड़ी स्लो हो जाएगी और मेरे कंपोस्टर फटाफट भर जाएंगे. So that's why I have a separate leaf composter which puts only white mite. You do not need. Now leaves are very high in carbon.
Okay.
So for that you add nitrogen. So you put microbes and you can put little bit of गोबर की खाद, that's very high in nitrogen. ऐसे कुछ आप खाद डाल दो और वो फटाफट 2-2.5 महीने में आपकी बहुत rich compost तैयार हो जाती है. उसमें भी I add those to my units and I grow plants directly from that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's very interesting. Okay, so like now we have varieties of composters, and basically they are terracotta. You're not using anything in plastic.
No, we do. I
Achha.
check. We do a lot of plastic ones also for people who, for example, you have like we did for army cantonment, and they said, "Ma'am, हमारी तो हम 1.5 साल का posting हो जाएगी, तो हम कैसे लेके जाएंगे?" So they took plastic composters.
Even I was wondering, मेरी तो posting हो जाएगी मेरी. I mean, my husband is already posted. I am still in Chandigarh, and I was wondering मैं चंडीगढ़ से जाऊंगी तो मुझे किसी को देके जाना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, इधर और जैसे आप अपने प्लांट्स लेके जाएंगे, उसको खाली करके पैक करके प्लांट्स लाओ.
हाँ,
जैसे आप अपने गमले लेके जाते हैं ना, so their officer said, "नहीं, हमें तो we like the prithvi, we like the shape, we want only terracotta." So they got it packed with their pots. जैसे आपने गमले जाएंगे, उसके साथ आपको ले जाएंगे.
तो लाइक जैसे रेनी सीजन आता है तो हम हाउ डू वी प्रोटेक्ट इट? आई मीन थोड़ा बहुत तो गीला होता ही है वो.
हाँ, so 2-3 things. एक तो if you can put it, if you have any place which has a little bit of shade, जहाँ direct rain ना पड़ती, so that helps. Secondly, what helps is कि अगर आप instead of the terracotta ढक्कन, आप लोहे के ढक्कन ले, they are like canopies. हम लोहे के ढक्कन भी देते हैं, जैसे मैंने अपने घर में लोहे के ढक्कन लगाए हैं, तो वो almost like an umbrella से होते हैं. Okay. So that helps. Thirdly, there are something which we call the raincoats. But what happens is that you have to put the raincoat and then after a while remove it. ऐसा ना हो कि पूरे वो तो फिर breathe नहीं करेगा. वो breathe नहीं करेगा. हाँ, so that is one issue. So there are few things which you can. So I tell people that maybe the rainy system is session, you can shift them a little inside. जहाँ आपको you can and see when the rainy season में there's so much humidity outside. You have to add almost double the remix. हाँ, then we have things like अगर आपकी ants आ रही हैं, जैसे हमारे घर में क्या होता है कि समर मंथ में बहुत आम खाते हैं, तो मीठा बहुत डलता है, गुठली डाल दी and वो सब. So then sometimes my staff would complain that there are ants. So उसमें आप vinegar डाल दीजिए, हल्दी डाल दीजिए, vinegar का spray कर दीजिए, then you can. So you do all whatever process or troubleshooting you do with natural things. We don't spray. ऐसा नहीं कि आप दवाई स्प्रे करें, ऐसा मत करें. अगर मैगेट्स है, आप you can again do salt, जो सेंधा नमक होता है, हाँ, उसका अगर स्प्रे करेंगे तो वो श्रिंक कर जाता है. हाँ, I did that. You can do turmeric. आप टर्मरिक का स्प्रे कर सकते हैं, मतलब you can make लोग उसको लहसुन और वो उबाल के भी कुछ स्प्रे करते हैं. So there are few things that you can do. Yeah, actually there was some small white type of thing that developed when it was all wet, and then they grew into some black kind of thing. So those are called fly soldiers, and they're called soldier flies, and those are very very rich in protein. So that is what I'm told. उनका जो लावा होता है, that's very good, and they are actually very good friends of compost. But what happens is that we associate those with yuckiness. You understand? जैसे मुझे छिपकली नहीं पसंद, तो अगर मेरे कंपोस्टर के आसपास छिपकली आ रही थी तो मैं भी चीख के मारती हूँ. You get what I mean? So it also means that when you are composting, it is time to embrace new friends. They are your friends actually. They are helping you to. It's just that the look is slimy. The look is yucky. You understand? हम कीड़ों के साथ associate करते हैं कि मतलब हमें डर लगता है या हमें ये yucky लगते हैं. So that is why it is our association. What we have built for so many years, when we see them, then we react accordingly. I don't go to that place जहाँ मेरा composter रखा है, क्योंकि वहाँ छिपकली आती है, and me and my kids are really scared of it. So जो मेरा rake होता है ना, whenever I open my composter, so first with the rake I do tuck tuck tuck. So उससे क्या होता है कि if there's any organism which is big enough like a lizard and it has to go, you can it'll go. Secondly, lizard again are very good for मतलब they lizards are very good to eat. मच्छर खा जाती है ना, so they are also part of the ecosystem. They are not there, but it's just that मैंने बचपन से I've seen my mother being scared of lizard. I've seen my grandmother being scared of lizard. So वो मेरे को fear, I inherited that fear. मुझे घर में छिपकली आ जाती है, जब तक भगा के जब नहीं कोई भगाएगा तो मैं सोती नहीं हूँ कि मेरे कमरे में छिपकली आ. So you understand? So this is it's got nothing to do. The small lizard will what will it do to a my size person? But it's just that it's so slimy to look at, and it gives you the heebie-jeebies. So it is very natural. And there are fears that you can fight, and there are fears you can't do much about. And we are still learning every day. So I'm hoping in a few years I'll be able to fight my fear of lizards myself.
Let's see how it goes about.
I'm sorry to interrupt in between. Anita ji has a question. Anita ji, you can unmute and ask the question. Hello, Anita ji, are you there?
She had her hand raised for a while.
Yeah, it's okay. We can continue the session by the time she comes back.
No worries.
She raised the hand, so that's why I interrupted.
So, Jyoti ji, it was very nice talking to you, discussing with you. And I would like my viewers, if they have any queries about the composting, so that we can take up. It's already an hour, going to be an hour actually.
Really? I thought okay. With composting, you can go on for hours. It's
yeah. Those good that Ekta ji engaged or she break down this. So, any questions from our participants we would like to take up?
Anita ji, are you there? So you can ask your question.
Also, in the given time, and the next time, when people look, and if there are any questions, if they ask, you're most welcome to give my phone number or Diksha's number. We'll be happy to happy to help. And also, right now we are because of the festive season, we have some discounts on the composters and all. If anybody really wants to install them.
Oh, that's
great. So we are doing a scheme. I will send you those. I will send you that we've made a small message. I'll send that to you. You can pass it on in your groups.
Yeah, sure. I would actually like to take it for my mother in Dehradun.
Yeah, so so you can let us know, and any questions on that, you can let us know. We'll be happy to answer.
I don't think so. There are any questions. Sorry.
Parul, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
It's very odd that I'm in this space today. I was suggested by one of my relatives to join this call because I've been working in this environmental space for some time. So I kind of wanted to know your opinions on indoor gardening. Like, what do you think about growing vegetables and, daily need items inside your house?
Do you mean inside or like in your house?
Inside your house, it's going to be indoors, not even your balcony. So let's suppose you have an aquarium, right? That's inside your house. So if you could just use the surface of the aquarium to grow vegetables or herbs,
So if they're going to use the chlorophyll and there's going to be photosynthesis, they will need sunlight. So probably they will fake the sunlight or have some lights which will.
Yes. So regarding that, you have to really maintain the microclimate.
Yes.
That's having said that, there are devices, technology helps us do all of that. So I have made up some sensors, which are cheaper than the market, and using that I'm sensing the microclimate. And with the pumps and light and fan, everything, I'm providing all the necessary things to the plants.
So how is it growing with that?
It's modern ways of farming. You actually don't need a soil to grow things. You only need water, right?
I said the hydroponics.
Hydroponic, aquaponic farming.
Aquaponic farming, yeah.
Which is happening in Chandigarh and Mohali on a commercial scale. But I come with a vision where I want to help people get this into their household scale, right? So that people can grow this inside their house, because herbs and all, the shelf cycle is so low that the whole supply chain, I think so much of the herbs are wasted by the time they reach our table, right? So this is the kind of problem I'm trying to solve, that so much of the food is wasted till the time it reaches supermarket shelves. So I just wanted to know your opinions. I mean, have you been growing food at home, or how is it like for you?
Yeah, so I'll talk for myself that I do grow a lot of vegetables. I grow a lot. Part of my food, which is consumed by us, is grown by me myself.
Okay.
Of course, with the help of my Mali and all, but they're usually on the rooftops and I have two front garden, back lawn. So I don't have a paucity of space, and I'm doing it mostly in my compost. I don't use soil. I use just compost.
Amazing.
And I grow all my vegetables, and I do a lot of microgreens and all in my. So मैं उनको वो मैंने तसले तैयार किए हैं, तो मैं उनको every 10 days लगाती रहती हूँ, तो वो करते रहते हैं, फिर 10 days के बाद cycle keeps going on.
So how long has this been? How long have you been doing this?
About 4.5 years.
Okay. And do you see your family adapting to this lifestyle of eating food at home?
Well, I am already doing that. So I do that, and I feel very proud of the fact that मैं तो लोगों को बांटती हूँ क्योंकि इकट्ठे अगर तुम्हारे पास 20, I have had that once. I had tomatoes in my units, and I had about 150 kgs of tomato from one unit.
Oh
so
God.
I had to, मैंने प्योरी बना लिया, उसके मैंने बना के फ्रीज कर दिया, सब कर दिया, उसके बाद I distributed with और मेरे आसपास जितने लोग थे, friends को भेजा.
Right.
So
you know, here I feel community plays a very good role. You know, this plant lovers community is such a big thing. Which can tie everybody. Yes.
So if you go towards like organic market, there with all those people, you know, they are very open to new ideas on, new ideas on how to grow. Right. How to grow your own meal, how to not to put any chemical in it, how not to put any sprays in it. So yes, I think nowadays people are very well aware and I would say open to new ideas.
Basically open.
Yeah, open to new ideas.
Yeah, there's a huge change in my thought process as well.
Yeah.
So one last question, okay, because it's already top of the hour. I know you guys have to leave for your evening schedule. How much do you guys spend on an average, you know, in a month on growing everything at home? You know, let's say microgreens. Just let's talk about microgreens only.
Microgreens needs very less expenditure. We can grow it easily. It's just like growing the sprouts as we do daily in the kitchen.
Right.
So microgreens won't take much expenditure.
So that's about like just $500 a month, right?
That I think
maybe less, maybe less also.
Maybe less also. Because you know I get my packs from I picked up some last. I picked up from Grow Green or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So they had उनके वो छोटे-छोटे बीज के पैकेट्स मैंने 3-4 मंगवा लिए थे. That they had a pack for ₹600 के बस 4-5 जितने छोटे sachets थे. So that carried on for a long time. I think few months. तो कुछ अपने sprinkle करना है.
But then you also need a grow bed also, right? So do you also buy grow bed frequently?
Coco peat work for that. Simple coco peat works for that.
So do you reuse it or you buy new ones?
So coco peat?
Yes.
No, I'm not using the coco peat, you know, those sheets of coco peat. I'm using the normal coco peat. So that is also in the, clay pots. So small, I have the small clay plates. So I grow in those plates. So that is reusable. So we don't need to buy again and again.
Okay.
So whatever coco peat is left, we can reuse it.
Right.
In fact, we have the devices where we don't need even this coco peat. So that is like, the water at the down in the lower container, and upwards there is 2 partitions, just like net partition, and we can keep the seeds there and they can grow into the microgreens.
Right.
We can actually grow on cotton also, wet cotton also. I've seen.
We've done that. Yeah.
I have never done it, but I've seen videos on that.
Right.
I have done that. कपड़े में डाल के उसको कपड़ा बिछा दिया, उससे स्प्राउट बना हो जाता है.
बिल्कुल. वो कपड़ा जो है वो वॉश करके आप दोबारा यूज कर सकते हैं.
Right. So this is what I want to do. I mean, thank you all for your inputs. It really means a lot to me. You know, I try to make circular economy happen. Like you just shared na कि कपड़ा use कर सकते हैं, तो we can just start reusing things from our home, because Indians store a lot of things inside their house. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we store a lot of things over the years. I don't know, maybe 6th standard की भी कुछ चीजें अभी तक पड़ी हुई हैं. So I think I just want people to start reusing things and, be delighted that what they can do with it actually.
Rohan, I would like to add that Parijay is a platform where we are trying to connect with the people and building a community who are working towards environment, who are growing as well as working on sustainable living. So I think it's good you are here today
Right.
here on this platform. You please share your number at the chat box and you can stay in touch with us. I think
Sure.
Jyoti, you and me, because when we are growing a plant, it's not just about the growing the plant. It's about the waste management. It's about composting. It's about everything. It's about creating the complete ecosystem, as well as counting bats, lizards, and so many things. So
Yes.
basically, all these microorganisms are our friends. So our Parijay's main aim is that food, what are the basic necessities? That air, food, and water. Food is already sellable, water is already selling, and now the air is also, if you know that now there are oxygen bars. China is already selling the air and in this COVID situation, we have seen that people have paid huge money to buy the oxygen cylinders which are not at all natural. They are also, that oxygen is also made in labs, and that is also creating that black fungus, white fungus, so many other infections. So what we are doing, we are going towards an atmosphere and environment where air, water, food, everything is free. In the previous session we discussed that how if we plant a fruit tree, then it can create the complete ecosystem, as well as it can create the employment for the underprivileged.
Right.
So the people who don't have the space, we can grow the vegetable, these fruit trees at the public places. And later on, I think we have seen a lot of examples when during the fruiting season, people pluck the fruits from there, they eat as well as they sell.
Yes.
They don't have the money to buy and then sell. So it's a it's a complete platform that where we can connect together and we can devise the various techniques where we can minimize the costing as well as creating the better ecosystem. We can, it's like creating a platform which is giving all the solutions under one roof, working as well as individual as well as collectively. So this is the target, and this is the target, this is the mission of doing these sessions. We are doing different types of sessions on Wednesday and the Saturdays, and I'm really grateful that now Jyoti ji and now Rohan, Shalini ji hai, Gursharan ji hai, and Parul, and it's all about that connecting. Right. So step by step we are connecting, and I'm sure that we will build a good community, and we will definitely achieve that goal where everybody, because our goal is also that utilize the terraces, walls, instead of the concrete. We are everywhere we see, we are seeing, watching just the concrete structures.
Right.
So the target is, let's cover up these concrete structures into the greens.
Right.
Managing the waste and converting these into the greens, and instead of creating the sick buildings, let's create the green buildings. Same buildings with the zero waste. There is no any waste, right? So our target is that if somebody is saying that I don't have the space to grow, so please, we all have the solutions. We Indians are so creative. The jugaad.
Yes.
Indians have that, the perfect word, I would say, that the jugaad. They can do anything. So the only thing is we must have that determination. We must have that determination that we want to do something. We have to live a sustainable living, and then we can definitely achieve it.
I'm really happy that Rohan, as youngsters like Rohan are associated, interested in such topics. It's really nice to see.
It's really, nature is very close to my heart.
I'm really happy about that, because people generally don't, of your age, they are people, I don't say there are actually none, but yes, very limited. I'm really happy that you have joined us for getting this knowledge and all.
I'm happy to take this platform further because I'm in this ecosystem already. So we have, even my friends are working on net zero carbon emissions. So they have techniques to offset your carbon footprint. Yes. Right. We are doing a lot of things together. I'm happy to collaborate and we can work out something to make this even bigger.
Yes, definitely, Rohan. You leave your number in the chat box, and I think you also have our contacts. So let's get connected. And definitely, I think, Jyoti, we can fix up a joint meeting, and we can think about that, how we all can work as a community.
Absolutely.
In collaboration. Yes.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
So I've shared my number with Parul.
Sure.
we'll get in touch. Awesome.
Yeah.
I will see you in the next session again.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
We would love if you will come as a speaker to our next session.
Yeah.
So that
Sure.
will be after Diwali. So Parul, I think Rohan, we can communicate and then we can understand the whole process and we can work on the sessions. Jyoti, I think this session is not sufficient. We need more sessions and we need your more time to continue with the composting also.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But another time, but at least we've done some briefing about it.
Yes, definitely. We will go into the deep.
Time and again, we'll keep doing these sessions with you so that people are reminded of the composting thing.
Yes,
and I really
absolutely.
want that people should shift themselves to composting.
That's
actually the first step which we can teach them.
Yeah, that is something that is one thing you can do. Yes.
Anita ji, do you have any question, please? Hello.
So, ma'am, so Ekta ji, my internet connection is getting unstable. Before I lose, I think we should conclude this meeting.
All right.
Yes, I just wish that Anita ji is hearing us, and if she want to ask anything else, we can connect later and she can ask a question.
We can.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jyoti ji. Thanks a lot, Ekta ji.
Thank you so much.
And our speaker, our participants. Yes, if any one of you have any sustainable idea.